Park benches can often provide refuge for those living with homelessness. Unfortunately, many of those same benches are close to playgrounds, putting your kids directly in the path of sex offenders. Officials from the DNR say that there's no problem with snapping a picture of the elk from the safety of your car. Just be aware of your surroundings and be courteous to other drivers. Getting through finals week can feel like rocket science, but I spoke to a few students who said it's actually a pretty simple equation. Taking time to study plus taking time to unwind equals a stress-free finals week. And if you're not quite sure how to pitch a tent or start a campfire, that's okay, because at this campground, it's just as easy as pulling a string. The area under the East Thomas Street Bridge is notorious for flooding, and in about a month or two, this whole area could be under several inches of water. The department has seen a lot of growth in recent years, and now that they've outgrown their current station, it's starting to feel a little confined. Carol Berna has been a bus driver in Wisconsin Rapids for 32 years, and today she let me tag along with her for her last ride.
Bye guys, we'll see you. Have fun over the summer. Bye.
It started off like any other day for Carol. She picked up her kids from Grant Elementary who were celebrating the last day of school and took them home, receiving plenty of hugs and flowers along the way. Now, taking a little time to look in life's rearview mirror.
So I was only going to do it for a year. 1 year went to 2, 2 went to 3, and all of a sudden it's 32 years later, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I love bus driving.
Emily Morrison rode with Carol throughout her time in elementary school, and now that she's in 6th grade, she reflected on how much she meant to her.
She would always just have a really positive attitude, and I feel like that really rubbed off on me.
Another thing Carol was known for was her timeliness, something that Emily's mom always loved, arriving at 8:30 on the dot every morning.
It was very dependable, and she was very safety conscious, so we felt good leaving our kids in her hands.
But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. Berna saying goodbye as she dropped off her last student, closing the door on this chapter of her life. Carol got emotional as she talked about what her last day meant to her, but was positive about the future.
Knowing it's the last time that I'm going to be a full-time driver is just kind of sad because I really like it. But it's a new chapter in my life. Life is just a book of unwritten chapters, and when you live something, it goes in the book as a chapter. And just like that, a storied career comes to an end. In Wisconsin Rapids, Nick Robinson, News 9 WAOW.
News 9's Nick Robinson joins us live with reaction from supporters and protesters alike. Nick?
Eric, Melissa, I'm right here outside of the Pfizer Forum where election season kicks off tonight. But outside the arena, debates have been raging all afternoon.
Several GOP presidential nominees will take center stage tonight in one of the most hotly contested swing states in the country. But even before the first word of the debate was spoken, there was plenty of words being shared outside, even from supporters of former President Trump, despite him not attending the debate.
A lot of people that are saying that it's pretty bad for Trump not to be here. He's up by 40 points. He doesn't need to be here.
But not everyone was there in support. One man came all the way from Minnesota to call the candidates out on what he says are major issues.
These GOP candidates are against what I believe in is abortion. They're against trans rights.
And even some high-profile party officials weighed in, including Senator Ron Johnson, who spoke with us about what he thinks is the most important part of tonight's debate.
I hope they all dedicate themselves to healing the division, to unifying this country. That's what's just required. It's what Joe Biden promised to do, and he's done the exact opposite.
But local Democratic leaders had a different opinion. They say if any of the Republican candidates are elected, they would have some big shoes to fill.
Hopefully, all these candidates will be committed to furthering the good work that has been done under President Biden.
The debates continued outside, and only time will tell if they will set the tone for what's to come later.
The debate will kick off tonight at 8 on Fox News, and you can find more information about it on our website, WAOW.com. Live in Milwaukee, Nick Robinson, News 9 WAOW. Yeah, Melissa, here at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, they're trying to keep up good spirits and good grades in the weeks leading up to finals. But the weight of it all can make it feel like they have a giant boulder resting on their shoulders.
Just keep going. You're almost done. You're getting there.
For most of us, spring is a time to go outside, enjoy the nice weather, and relax. But for college students, it's not always the same. Getting through finals week can feel like rocket science, but I spoke to a few students who said it's actually a pretty simple equation. Taking time to study, plus taking time to unwind, equals a stress-free finals week. Max Finger is a sophomore at UWSP, and his method of dealing with stress is by being confident in his work.
I'm not too stressed. I've been working pretty hard all semester. We'll see what we do. We just gotta pass.
Another thing that students found hopeful was studying in groups to both collaborate and show their classmates that they're not alone.
Especially when it comes to our project groups, we're able to really kind of work together and kind of get through it. Because even though, sometimes you might have a little lack of sleep and stuff, if you just kind of keep up with it and try your best, usually you can get through it pretty easily. And the nice weather can also provide students a chance to get away from the mundane feeling of studying.
Especially on days like today, I remember, I need to get outside, take a breath, go outside, sit on the lawn. Getting good exercise is something I do too, and always prioritizing getting good sleep is something that's important for me.
Orlando reminding his fellow students that despite how long it may seem, finals week doesn't last forever. And once exams are over, they can finally tell their stress to kick rocks. Live in Stevens Point, Nick Robinson, News 9 WAOW. It's a view like this that draws people to the Northwoods, and it's one of the many reasons why a recent study found more and more people are moving to the rural parts of the Badger State.
We love it. Everybody should move here.
And over the last few decades, a lot of people have, including the Stern family. They've been coming up here for several years and moved up here from Illinois 3 years ago, and they told me why they made the move.
Once COVID hit, my husband's office was closed for 7 weeks, and we decided, hey, what better place to go? Let's go to Manitowoc Waters.
And as the school year was approaching, Stern said they had a decision to make. And with their hometown unsure of how they would handle going back to school during the pandemic, she said they chose to stay in the Badger State.
So we were just going to stay here for 1 school year. That was 3 school years ago.
And the move was popular with the whole family.
I love how the schools are a lot smaller. I can ride my bike around. I have a lot more freedom than I did in the city.
And there's data to back the Sterns up. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum has Wisconsin's population in rural areas well above rural areas in most neighboring states, and Vilas County, where the Sterns live, was one of the highest growing counties. Officials from the forum pointed to the main reason why the Northwoods is reeling in so many new residents.
And what we found was a pretty close link between communities that are growing, counties that are growing in Wisconsin, and counties that have a much higher share of their total employment in leisure and hospitality.
He said that the more tourists come, more choose to stick around. To find out where your county ranks, you can go to our website, WAOW.com. In Manitowoc Waters, Nick Robinson, News 9 WAOW. We're all told to never give up in times of hardship, but for Liam Russo of Wisconsin Rapids, the decision to keep going may have saved his life. While most 8-year-old kids are usually playing video games or hanging out with friends, at that age, Liam was suffering from severe abdominal pain after having his gallbladder removed, pain that caused him to miss out on a normal childhood.
I couldn't hang out with friends. I couldn't, really do anything other than just stay home and sometimes make it to school, but even school I would miss half the days.
Liam's mother then took him to several clinics across the state, but they couldn't figure out what was wrong.
It's really difficult to see your son go through such extreme pain and medical challenges for so long.
But that solution came when the Russos went to Aspirus Riverview Clinic and met Dr. Chris Ferguson. Ferguson saying that Liam was one of the toughest patients he's ever worked with.
It was really rewarding because Liam's such a great young man to work with.
You know what, Liam gradually with some injections started to feel some relief to be able to eat again. And then he started to slowly get strong enough to eventually get a spinal cord stimulator in June of last year, which has changed his life drastically and given him no pain at all.
And after a spinal stimulator to help fix a group of nerves that had bunched up in his stomach, Liam was able to go a day without pain for the first time in over a decade, improving his life in more ways than one.
I had C's and D's for my first year of college, and then over this summer, I got the surgery, and now I have all A's.
The mother and son echoing the same sentiment, to never give up, even when others are saying nothing can be done.
And after growing up with severe pain and being told he may have to live with it, Liam's biggest worry now is getting ready for finals. From Wisconsin Rapids, Nick Robinson, News 9 WAOW. Natalie, I caught up with Serena and Ann, two women who fought through all the challenges their disabilities have thrown at them and are working hard to make sure others know that they are not alone. Nearly 3 years ago, Serena Splendorio went to the hospital believing she was having a stroke, but was instead diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, a rare disorder that disrupts the communication between her brain and her body.
My body can go into full body paralysis at times. Sometimes my speech can be off. Sometimes I can't walk because my legs don't receive the right messages.
And it's not just the physical disorder that Splendorio struggles with. She also deals with anxiety and depression, both of which were made worse by her diagnosis.
Back in October, I actually tried to take my life because I did lose perspective of what was important, my family, my 3 amazing kids, my husband, my friends.
But as much as life tried to knock her down, she kept getting back up. And now, her and her friend Ann Kiefer have started a support group for people with both physical and mental illness.
We have a wide variety of disabilities, but we all have kind of the same overlap of frustrations.
Kiefer also has a disability that causes more of her blood to flow into her legs rather than her heart and lungs. And the two women had a message they want everyone in the disabled community to hear.
Your worth absolutely does not depend on what you did based on your physical body. So I would say that you need to find people around you that can build you back up.
The two women looking to build a network of acceptance, one step at a time.
People are going to judge you no matter what, whether you have a disability or not. What really matters is what you think of yourself.
The group meets on the third Monday of every month at Beloved Community Church in Stevens Point, and they welcome anyone from across the Badger State that's willing to make the drive. Live in the studio, Nick Robinson, News 9 WAOW.